Right, so hopefully you guys can see this okay. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about this. What's this thing called? I forget the name of it. The fresh air vent system for your VW bus. I just couldn't remember. But yeah, I'm going to show you what this parts look like in case yours is missing. Some of you guys might have the parts missing, and I'm not going to take this part here apart. I only take these apart if they just are missing parts or something. But I'm going to talk to you about this portion, and of course this part's a lot harder to take apart if it's missing. You might have some fun with that. But let's talk about this flapper and the fresh air duct system. Okay, so mine was missing this part right here, and this is called the flapper. And if you wanted to, you might even be able to make one of these. And what it is it has this section is like a ring, okay, and it's riveted to this section, and sandwiched between that is a rubber piece. And you can buy this rubber piece at Wolfsburg West, and you could actually probably use that rubber piece to figure out how to make this part, because what I'm finding people is they want a ridiculous amount of money for one of these stupid flaps. I was getting people saying $80, and you know, I ended up finding this for $25, which it took me forever, almost a year. So, and what's part of this is also you have the rod. And another thing, again, these guys want $35 for this rod. And I said, you know what? Even if it costs me more money, I will make it myself, just to show that I'm not going to give you my money. So anyway, so what this rod is it's probably 6mm originally, but what we used is a 1/4 inch steel rod stock, okay, to make it. And all it is a rod that goes straight through with 2 flat spots in it that look like that and like this, okay. And then figuring out where those flat spots are is a little bit tricky, because you have to kind of install it and then mark it, and you know, and all that other stuff. And then at the end of the rod, there's 2 screws that go in right here. Okay, so you see how that is? It's just basically an L-shaped rod. Okay, and this is a flat piece of sheet metal. So what we used on this is 18 gauge sheet metal to make this little thing here. Cut a piece that was a little bit wider than what we needed, welded it to the rod, okay, and then shaped it to fit in the knob, which the knobs are available at Wolfsburg West for about $8 today. And so what this piece is here is this is the flapper itself. Okay, and if you wanted to, you could probably make one of these. They sell this little kit here, which is the spring and the it's like a little thing that rubs against these little bumps here. You see these little bumps? Kind of rubs against those, and kind of it locks into place on each one of those little levels to keep it open, you know, for how much air you want to let in. So this flapper goes inside here. It's a little tricky to get in, but because you got because of this, and then it flaps down. So when it's closed, it's all the way down like that. Or when it's open, is that open or closed? That's open. And then when it closes, it goes all the way up like this. It's hard to do without the rod in there. So it goes up, that's closed. And then when you open it, you move your thing down to your vent down. Your little knob will move it down. So that's kind of how it works. And this little thing here, again, it fits into those little bumps that are there, that are on this side. You can see them easier. And then that kind of shows you how much it's open. So open all the way is down, shut all the way is up here. So, and then the rubber piece does the sealing on there. That's how the thing works. It has 2 set screws. You could actually make these out of anything you wanted to. You don't have to, you know, you could just make a little piece of sheet metal, and then the rod goes through like this, goes in here. We had to drill this out just a slight, ever so slight bit for the 1/4 inch to fit. And you put this on here like that, and then on the end there's actually a little what's it called, and then there's, okay, then of course you have a plastic washer set. There's 2 of these plastic washers in a little package that they have at Wolfsburg West, and then you have this sort of a speed nut type of a thing that slides on and locks the rod in place. Now the little speed nut thing does the least amount of the work. Once you put it into place and you tighten up these 2 set screws, okay, it's not going to move, you know, and the actual flapper itself is going to kind of stay in the middle, but the speed nut just kind of, you know, is there to fill the hole, I suppose. But that's kind of how that thing works. If on mine we had, on my bus here, we had a problem with, I'm going to show you what somebody did is up inside here. As you can see, that it looks to me that I think is plumber's putty. So we're scraping that out of there right now, and they probably lost these parts and actually filled this in with plumber's putty, which was kind of ingenious, because if you put your sweater or something up in here, it blows right out. Like I tried putting like a sweatshirt up in here while I was going on a trip, and it kind of blew out of there. You know, it kept on, you know, I had to keep stuffing it in there and stuff. So I think they figured out that plumber's putty would kind of stay on the screen and stayed in place, and it probably worked for many years. So anyway, but I had to remove that. Now I've got to get all that putty out of there, which is, I used a torch when I was building the bus and I got most of it out, but I have to use a wire brush. You know, these small ones from Harbor Freight work really good, and then take those out of there. So anyway, that's kind of how the vent system works. And so if you're missing parts, you can kind of know what you're looking for. So anyway, I'll talk to you on the next video. And I must have passed up a few of these without the knob at shows. These rods, you know, the guys on the Samba want $35 for it, but I'm sure I could have found it for less if I knew what it looked like. But so that's why I made this video, for you guys to help figure out what yours looks like and what this flapper looks like. And so you can look at that. All right, let's take a look at this side again. So if you're missing the part, you kind of know what it looks like. Talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Forgot to mention is also there's the screw kit for the cover and the gasket for the cover, also available at Wolfsburg West. And the actual cover is actually available. Let me show you what they look like. All right, well, anyway, look for that cover on Wolfsburg West. I can't find mine right now. I think it's in storage upstairs, and I don't feel like digging up there. So I'll talk to you in the next video.